Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Micaiah. I'm with Food Not Bombs PDX, and we're here in Chapman Square, right across from City Hall, and the Federal Park, which is now closed off, with a police line around it, which is where all these folks used to be. So we're just out here tonight supporting the houseless community, the one that's assembled here in Chapman Square. We do this every Tuesday. Basically, we cook food at Right to Dream 2, pick it up from various places that donate, and then we bring it down here at 6:30 and feed who's ever here. And it's a little humbling because this is like the front lines on like Portland's war on the houseless, and it's as you can see, just if you do a pan around. There's a lot of folks here that need help, and the city can't help them.
Have I interviewed you yet?
Neither can the county, or the state. And so what they do is they beat these people up and they throw them in jail. And it's just this catch and release program. It's this endless cycle of poverty. And so we try to do what we can to bring these people good food and to show them that the community really does, or there are those in the community who see their need and just want to hang out and eat food with them. So that's what we do.
This is the Occupy protest that started in December 1st, 2011. It's a protest specifically to end the camping ban here in Portland. The camping ban is a city ordinance that makes it illegal to have a sleeping bag or any bedding material with you whatsoever if you're sleeping on public property. If you do not have access to private property, i.e. the homeless, then it is effectively illegal to sleep. And yeah, you may see people sleeping around the city, you may see people huddled under bridges and in corners, but it's always under the threat of they may wake up to a court date or being beaten and taken to jail for 30 days. It's always a gamble. And yeah, they may not enforce it all the time, but they always have an excuse to harass somebody if they choose to. Just for sleeping. This isn't about camping, this is about the right to sleep.
This part of the Occupy movement, like I said part because it's one of the spokes of it. There are many parts of the movement as a whole, as a group within the world. But this part is, as far as City of Portland goes, is a movement to prove that there is a homeless issue that is not being taken care of as though it should have. They had a 10-year contract with the federal government saying that they were going to have ended homelessness in Portland by now, and it's not done. So, we've been here for over 2 years. Oh, almost 2 years. Sorry, apologize. Almost 2 years around that area since the eviction. Okay. Coming back into here and showing them right in their face, right in front of City Hall, right in front of their Justice Center, right in front of their courthouse, right in front of the federal building, that, hey, we're here, we need attention, we need help. And there's been a standstill, but now the wheels are actually turning. Now that we've finished butting heads, we're actually going to start making a movement forward, and hopefully we can get that togetherness and work together instead. That's my intent in this situation. Because I had to step up to be a leader as much as possible without disrespecting people and making them feel like they were being challenged.
Well, I first came to Occupy, because of it was a budding movement, and it seemed to have some legs when it took off. It really seemed to ignite a national consciousness around holding our government responsible for the misdeeds that they've done over the last 20 years or so. I don't know. It's been a while. It's been an endless chain of misdeeds, but there was a crescendo of people power that we hadn't seen since probably the Vietnam era, and it was really exciting time, really heady time. We were coming and reclaiming space and creating safe and self-sufficient zones on all the Occupy camps across the country. And so that went on for about a month and a half, and when it got shut down, one of the things that the city cited in shutting down the camp was the camping ordinance. And so I went and looked at the camping ordinance, and the wording in the camping ordinance says that you cannot use a sleeping bag or a blanket or a sleeping pad because those are camping equipment, and we can't have camping in the city, which is great. Camping is a recreational thing, but sleeping is a fundamental necessity that's right up there with water and air. And for somebody to not be able to use a tarp or a blanket during the inclement months, which are 9 or 10 of the months here in Portland, is inhumane and ludicrous. And so I decided that that wasn't acceptable and that we were setting up the vigil until we could change the law. Just want to take part and experience it. Continue to support the movement. I mean, this is the one occupation in the country that has continued. I don't think there have been any other physical occupations that have continued since the original movement. For almost 2 years, we've created a safe and autonomous space where people have taken care of each other and stood up for their rights and taken it to court and won on a number of occasions. We've had a number of victories, court victories, related to the vigil and activities around that. And, you know, I guess what I want is the same thing that I've always wanted, is that the statute, the wording in the statute be changed. And that might not result in any physical change in people's situation, but it would be a strong symbolic change in the morality of the statute itself.
This is Occupy Portland across the street. I just got to Portland. I was part of Occupy Salt Lake City, and so when I met some occupiers, I actually didn't know that there were still active Occupy encampments. I thought everyone had been evicted, so I thought it would be a good idea to come over and check out what was going on in Portland. To me, Occupy is about helping usher in a new world and showing people that there's a lot of injustice in the world and standing up to it. The injustices that the federal government is involved in with wars of foreign aggression, the war on drugs, being in bed with the banks and bailing out the banks when they fail, and all these unholy alliances and conflicts of interest, where our country's been turned into an incarceration nation, where it's big business to incarcerate people in certain states with private prisons that are being run for profit. Louisiana is the incarceration capital of the world. This country incarcerates 2.4 million people are in the system currently, and then how many more are entangled with fines and probations for things that probably never should have been a crime in the first place, like low-level nonviolent drug offenses and that sort of thing. So to me, it's about standing up against injustice in general and building a more peaceful world.
This is Occupy Portland, so it's been going on for 19 months, I think, and we're basically here to, they say lift the ban on sleeping. It's not technically a ban on sleeping, but it's like, the homeless don't have as many rights as other people do, and everyone is equal, and most of the people out here, I'd say a good 80% of the people out here in Portland are homeless by choice, because we travel and we just don't think that we need to rely on a house and money to be happy, and like, so I think that sometimes it's portrayed as something different than that, but we just all want to be able to sleep in the grass and not the concrete if we want to, you know, and right now we can't do that. We're only allowed to sleep certain times of days and in certain places, and now we have this lovely fence with barbed wire to keep us out of public property. Your kids beat me up. I don't know. I think we're getting some stuff accomplished, or at least rallying some people up. Initially, I came to Portland because we're from Florida, so
I'm from Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, we've after the Montana gathering, we went to Seattle for a little bit, and then we came here, and I didn't know anything about, I mean, I knew about Occupy, I didn't know it was still in Portland, and half the people were my friends from other states and gatherings and different things like that, and the other half became family really soon, and so at first I was just like, wow, a really great communal place that I can feel safe and sleep at night and get awesome food, and then after a few days I started getting into why they were out here, and thought it was really cool that we're out here trying to make a difference for people that maybe can't stand up for themselves and that are actually homeless because they have, you know, they're elderly or they have mental illness or things like that, that, you know, they can't live like other people, and, you know, people like that need us to fight for their rights. So I really got into it after a few days, and I'm here to help and support that also.
That's cool.
But mainly because there's really awesome people here and we just like hanging out. So a little bit of both. But if we can do some good while hanging out with some good people, then it's all good. Honestly, I think that right now, you know, the city's like, oh, well, we're going to put this much money towards like Section 8 housing or something like that. I think a lot of people, especially us that are living this way by our own choice, don't want to live in a little box in Section 8. I don't think that's the solution to the problem. I think that the solution is that we are the people and we should have rights to this land, which is all of ours. We should be able to sleep wherever we want. It shouldn't be like, we shouldn't be harassed just because we look different or we've got a pack on our back, you know? And Portland's a lot better about it than most places. We're from the East Coast. So there, it's like you gotta go to jail if you're homeless. Like, it's almost illegal there. And so there's like, it's definitely easier to live here, but there's still a lot of work that can be done. So hopefully that'll get accomplished. And we won't get kicked awake at 7 in the morning and told to move all our stuff, or else we go to jail, you know? So they were doing that for a while. I don't know, we haven't been here in a few weeks, so I don't know what the police have been doing lately, but when I was here last time, they were definitely trying to make a point. Everybody here is really awesome. You guys are really awesome. Your food's awesome. And I don't know. We're really happy to be here, and we were in Seattle for a little bit, and we took the boat bus back. And as soon as we get back, my kid's like, "Mommy, we're in Portland with all our friends. Let's go to City Hall. Let's go to City Hall." And we get here, and he's like, "Yay, Mommy, it's Occupy!" Like, it was so cute. So it's just good vibes.
You know, there's a lot of things going on here. Some people call it Occupy. Some people call it a movement. Others call it, you know, just kids being kids. Depends on how you look at it, what it is. I think it's personally just something that's become bigger than everybody else. You know, by the way we treat the homeless, the way we treat ourselves. That's what I think it is. I want them to end homelessness. I think that's important for the homeless. I want the cops to treat the people that have mental issues with a little bit of respect and dignity. And I want the cops to show that they're here to do their job to protect and serve, but to actually protect. And I want to see like us come together as a community for the homeless and for ourselves. That's what I hope to see come out of this. I hope that we all learn a valuable lesson, you know, in this, you know, whether it's the city, whether it's the state, whether it's me as a person. We learn that as people, we're all equal, and that there's no one better than anybody else. And just because a class thinks you think it makes you better, it doesn't. You know, just because I'm poor doesn't mean you're better than me because you have money, or you have a house, or you have this, or you have that. We're all equal. I go through the same struggles you go through, and we all bleed the same blood. So I would say the main thing and the most important thing to remember is that we all bleed the same blood.
Homeless people sticking up for their own rights. You know what I mean? It's people wanting to have the right to live on this planet, you know. Because we're not homeless. We live here on Earth, and this is what we do, right? I'm here because, well, I came here at first to rehabilitate. I had an injury, and I just fell in love with the people, you know, the chemistry, the atmosphere. I mean, there's drama now and then, but for the most part, it's like a family. You know? I don't have any family, so you know, it feels good to me. So, what do I want to happen? I wanted to be easier for people to be able to rest or sleep or do whatever they need to do to take care of themselves and be safe. You know, it's just there's so much violence and hurtful people out there. You know, that there should be, you know, safe havens for people. You know, in medieval times it was the church. You know, we still have that, but there's just too many people. They help out a lot. I mean, it's not like you're gonna go sleep in there and stuff, but you know, they make things a lot easier. You know, with food, clothing, sometimes shelter. I've seen them give people tents. I've seen them give people sleeping bags. I just fell in love with this city, you know, because I've been homeless in a lot of other places. And this is the best place I've ever been. You know, it's just people willing to help. You know, and I haven't seen that a lot in my life. So I don't know. Other than that, I just want everybody to be able to be safe. You know, there's no reason why. You know, this is a big planet. You know, there's plenty of room to share.
Right.
You know, just you know, I've been a yuppie. You know, and I've been here. And and I like this better. You know, I mean, it's just the people are better, just beautiful people. You know,
So what is this right here?
It's Occupy Portland.
And why are you here?
I'm here because I stand by the views of people that are here.
And what are those views?
Their views is that government cannot basically limit most basic loves of the human being, like sleep, for example. I come from a country that fucking killed communism in its seed. I come from Poland, where all of the people got together and overthrown the government because they just disagreed with their views to that point. I want people to listen. I want government not only to listen, but to also understand and put themselves in the shoes of people who are on the sleep. This society is not only happy to work in buildings like this, it's all of us. It's all of us combined together, the whole variety. And they need to learn how to listen, how to value everyone else's opinion, but certain one group. It's all what democracy is about.
This is the prayer vigil to end the camping ban. This is the homeless protesting right in front of City Hall, right in their face. The camping ban that does not let them sleep around town. The camping ban that lets the police come around and rouse them in the morning before they've gotten all their sleep. The camping ban that makes them move their stuff all over town because they can't leave it somewhere because it's illegal. Sometimes I wonder though what the real goal of it is. What does it mean to end the camping ban? And I, you know, a lot of people seem to say to me that they think it's like being allowed to have a Dignity Village type thing, but in the downtown area, you know, where people can come and go, more transient type of camp that's like legal and, you know, and self-controlled. But, you know, the city doesn't want to hear that kind of stuff. PBA doesn't want to hear it. I mean, they have an excellent example in Right to Dream 2 down there on Burnside, where they're self-policing, they're, you know, they're self-sustaining. They aren't really bothering anybody other than just by being there. Evidently, just the fact of having homeless people around is disturbing to some people. But despite those odds, these people have not left. It's going to be 2 years here pretty soon. There's people out here with literally nothing. Nothing. They have the clothes on their back and they're sleeping on the ground. And they come here because, you know, it seems like a safe place and there's a lot of people sleeping here. Why are they sleeping here? Because they started the vigil to end the camping ban here. And because, well, the Occupy camps were in this very park where I'm standing. I mean, there was probably a tent right here.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah.
There most definitely was.
There was a tent right where I'm standing. So, I mean, that's what this is to me around here. That's what this whole thing is. This is people living, really. This is people living. I mean, this is where they live. They live here. I mean, this isn't camping or some kind of thing where they've made a choice. To me, that's so disingenuous of the mainstream media coverage of this and what the mayor says about him and the PBA. If you look at one of those articles and count the number of times they use the word camping, I mean, it's like 20 or 30 every article. They want to make you think like this is a choice. People are choosing to want to live in the dirt with nothing. No, they're not. They don't have a choice, and they're not being helped.
People can't erect shelter, protect themselves from the elements, and die every year. Because it's illegal to set up a tent. This is why I'm here. And I'll continue to be here until the atrocity stops, man. From the beginning, long before the beginning, I've been doing this, you know, man. And not necessarily, but just the inhumane society that we have. You know, I've been through the correction systems, and I realize, man, I mean, what we see out here is nothing. And my eyes were open a long time ago, where a lot of people don't realize exactly what even still is going on, you know, compared to, I mean, prison for profit. You know, I mean, these guys are making helmets. They make 42 helmets a day. Each one of these helmets are getting sold for $140 some odd per a piece, and it's probably costing the prison industry $30 a day to to have these prisoners make these helmets and stuff like that. Just in the prison I was in, and they do all kinds of stuff, but it's definitely prisons for profit. So what you see out here, and which is some pretty treacherous stuff, is nothing compared to what our government is really willing to do. But I mean, they don't want people to see what's happening. They'll do it behind closed doors. But if I mean, in the mainstream eye, they can't do the things they do like behind closed doors. And so there's a chance you can fight out here. There's a chance you can make this not happen. I mean, we don't have to be ruled by money. We don't have to be ruled by society. We can think on our own. We can survive on our own. We can live on our own. We don't need Babylon.
This is the protest of the Vigil to end the camping ban. Because of compassion for the people who have to go homeless and have to struggle every single day just to stay healthy, stay fed, stay warm at night. That's what brings me here. I would like to sit down with the city, come to a conclusion on making an absolute decision on how we can actually take care of this problem without any more suffering. To put together eco-villages, to put together whatever it is that we need to do to house these people, or at least for those people who want to be off the street, to give them a place where they can be sheltered at least during the winter time. And for those who don't want to come off the street, maybe give them temporary shelter and not, the permanent forms of housing that they may not want. Well, there are some people that don't really want to go indoors. I myself, I like sleeping outside. I don't know if I will go indoors. I'm not sure. But I will be involved in it. And then there's those who are mentally ill who can't go indoors, which is the reason why they can't go into the missions and go into the shelters. Their phobia or whatever it keeps them from being packed in like sardines, and so they don't go to the shelters. They would rather wander around on the streets at nights. There's quite a few subdivisions of the homeless, those who want to go indoors, those who don't want to go indoors. And then there are those people who don't want to reconnect back into the system, the very capitalistic system that drove them out. So why would they, in their right mind, want to go and reconnect up to the very system that couldn't give them their needs? I would like to remind those people that drive by with these predetermined stereotypes or with these prejudices, or in some cases hatred for the poor. I would like to know why. They've never done anything to you. And for the cop, that I got to say that, police officers at one time used to at least talk to people and ask them if they were okay, and check on them throughout the night. And that creates a safety for some homeless people. But that kind of thing, that kind of cop has been more or less trained out of them. Their compassion. Everything is so by the book now. There's no room for a police officer, to be a human.
So tell me what the mayor said today, and tell me how you found out about it.
Well, the Channel 2 News crew came up to me, asked me for, if they could interview me. I said, yeah, okay. We were talking about how we moved around, and then the news person said, the reporter said, did you know that Charlie Hale said it was okay for you guys to use tents while you're sleeping at night along the city sidewalks? And does that mean you're going to go away? And I said, like what? And I was really taken back by it for a moment. I was caught off guard, and I just could, all I could say was like, "Are you sure?" And and she says, "Yeah, I'm absolutely sure of it." And I'm like, "Okay, well, you know, when I can vet this story and find out and confirm this, and if it's true, I'll go away." And so we finished the interview, and we continued to talk about it. And she goes, "Yeah, I caught the mayor coming out of a meeting earlier today, and this morning, and she asked him directly, so is it okay for the protesters to now use tents along the city streets, along the sidewalks, when they're sleeping at night?" And he said yes, as long as they're not blocking the thoroughfare of the street, making a mess and roll it up by 7 and such like that. That's basically what he said. And I saw it, and the videotape, she showed it to me, and I couldn't believe it. But later on in the afternoon, Mike Whiffy did talk to the mayor and ask him about that and confront him on that, and he started to backpedal on that.
Well, you know, it began as a prayer vigil to end the camping ban in Multnomah County, thank you, but now it's kind of developed into, and as it quickly did, into a little community, a community of people that are actually living like, with a human-based system of values. We're living in accordance with a human-based system of values, rather than a money-based system. You know, help each other out. Friends or family would look out for each other as much as possible. You know, I mean, anytime you have a situation like this where anyone is welcome to come, especially in a downtown city area, you're going to have, you know, some unsavory people that want to start problems and, you know, shoot up drugs and stuff in the area. But there's enough of a core group of like real good people, you know, that it's a really nice, as you said, little family community vibe and feel we got going here. I want to support people who are, like I said, living as human beings instead of, you know, looking at each other as dollar signs. And, you know, it's like basically, if you saw your friend or a family member, or hopefully anyone, depending on who's watching this video, on the street, lying there hurt, it's like your first instinct is to help this person, as if they were, you know, your friend or family or whoever, just a fellow human being. But when you get to these like insane levels of capitalism and greed and, you know, monetary, like I said, money-based value systems, people look at someone in that condition and they think the first thing in their head, I wonder what kind of insurance policy they have. You know, will they have enough to cover what might need to be done to them instead of just helping them? So it's almost like the opposite. You know, a money-based system is almost like the opposite of a human-based system of value, which everything is just like numbers and, you know, profits and losses and gains and all that. And this, in a sense, you know, it forces you to be at least like conservative with your money to a certain extent because things are so difficult. You know, minimum wage has increased only a few times over in the last 50 years, whereas the cost of living has increased like, I don't know, 10 times or something. The ratio is really very unequal. But yeah, so, you know, I always do what I can to help tell people about like the collective consciousness, you know, the science surrounding the collective consciousness and how enough of us just change our own awareness that we can cause what's called the quantum shift in the collective consciousness of the species. Like, you can look up the 100th monkey phenomenon. They taught the one monkeys from the one island how to, well, actually they let them figure it out on their own. And then once a percentage of the monkeys figured out how to wash these potatoes off, then all the other monkeys of the same race on all the other islands around knew how to do it too, because the knowledge transfers through the collective consciousness or the conscious energy field or the unified field or the morphogenetic field, depending on what term you want to use for that. It's the one great spirit, you know, the one consciousness that we're all part of. And that's even scientifically you know, trackable and quantifiable now, so that's nice, because it's really silly to argue with something like that when you can prove it scientifically. Just help, you know, do what we can, bring about that shift and kind of lead by example. And, you know, right now, being here is like, I think, really good experience, really valuable experience in community living like this, where you're learning to get along with all kinds of different people. You know, anyone, any kind of, you know, I mean, we're also right, like, yards from the Justice Center where people are released from prison, so people get out of prison and they come by here, regularly, which is just one random fact about this spot. But yeah, just learning to live with all kinds of different people in a community and sort out stuff for the most part ourselves without having to, tap into the police force. And I mean, there are some times when that is necessary, and we still appreciate, like the police for the good things that they're really set up to do. And obviously, there's some bad things that they do too. But there's some bad things. Civilians are the same way. Any group of people, some people do good things, people do bad things. But yeah, for the most part, we live like without the necessity of the aid of police or. I don't know. It's hard to describe all in one thing. It's like it's such a modern, like cutting edge evolutionary thing. Like I said, is living in this type of a community. It changes every day. It's hard to even define something like that. But just making sure everything stays peaceful. Everyone looks out for each other and keep the violence out. I don't know. It's just take it as it goes. Just gotta bring your positive energy and good attitude to it, and treat it like a family thing. It's kind of like a little rainbow gathering right in the middle of the city. Of course, rainbow gatherings have good and bad reputations as well. But we had an Ohm circle here today. We've been having them regularly. And, like more science that backs the positive effects of these things and why it's worth it. Like when you have a meditation circle, a meditation group, everyone in the surrounding area experiences elevated serotonin levels in their brains, whether they know there's a meditation going on or not. It's just an effect that happens through the collective consciousness again. So every time we do that, we're helping people in these buildings around here just experience a little bit of peace, through a totally peaceful way, a collective intention, for just stress relief and unity, love, help each other out, all that.
Street name's Cranko. My real name is Frank Fuller. I started being homeless about 5 years ago, traveling. I've been from Virginia to Hawaii. I've been from the Keys to Colombia. I've gone to Brazil on trains that I wasn't supposed to be on. I've seen Canada. I have seen every state there is, and I have squatters' rights pretty much everywhere. I have fun everywhere I go. I travel. This is an Occupy movement, so people can have their tents when it's raining. Everybody needs a shelter. It doesn't matter where it's at, because the shelters want to actually allow a lot of homeless in there. For the whole fact, if you get any, let's say you got caught spitting on the sidewalk, you get a misdemeanor charge. Now you can't go to a homeless shelter because you have a misdemeanor charge. Having a tent is a big deal. You can keep it up, keep your stuff dry. In my bag I carry pictures of my kids, and I want my bag to stay dry, so I need a tent too sometimes. And they don't allow us to camp anywhere else, so we gotta camp somewhere. I'm here to help these people get through whatever they need to get through. Right now they're wanting just to have their tents up at night. Next week it might be, just giving them a spot of ground to keep their tent up. I know winter's coming and it's tough out here.
Occupy Portland, downtown City Hall, the homeless vigil protest, fighting the camping ban and sit-and-lie laws. I'm from Reno, Nevada. We have definite sit-and-lie laws there. It's causing a lot of problems. It's causing a lot of crime. We've got these people that are pushed into situations where they have to do something to survive. And some of these people actually have done crime in the past, and they know how to do it. They'd just rather not. They've decided not to be like that anymore. They'd rather be straight up people, but then the system is cramping it to coming on one side. They're trying to survive stress, this, that, all kinds of different things coming from all sides of these people. And you know what? Being able to sleep on the streets, it gives them a little peace of mind to clear their head. This is a sweet city. It's really compared to the size of the city and the downtown area and the different influx of different kinds of people, there is really not that much crime. It's a really neat thing. This ability to have the streets, to use the streets, it does, but it helps. In Reno, where the cops are on these people, there's only 2 blocks in the whole city, and it's on the same block, one on each side of the street, and a little bit down the train tracks. Very little in one site area that you can sleep. Anywhere else, you get caught by a cop, and they're on your shit, and they're IDing you, taking you in jail. That ain't no game there. And these people are doubling, tripling up couples and tripling up couples in the motel room that is only designed for fit 2 people. You have 6 to 7 people living in them, and then you've got these people that are on SSD or SSI, for instance, or whatever, in checks. They're paying for the motel, and then you got these other guys doing crime, buying drugs, selling drugs, prostitution, whatever it happens to be able to live in that same motel room and cover their end of the slack because they don't have jobs. Nevada is really bad on jobs and housing. It's just not very much available. You have one shelter in Reno, Nevada, holds about 500 people. There's pushing 1,700 homeless in the area, and a lot of them you don't see them much on the streets because they're living within the motels in the downtown area. So I think the city needs to employ people that are designing their programs, some from the rich and some from the homeless, communing together. You see some of these groups, they're actually doing this, Right to Dream too. A little bit of both going on there. A little bit of money, a little bit of homelessness. People getting together, talking things over, coming up with solutions that are comfortable for both ends, and especially for the people that are homeless.
To me, this is Occupy Portland. And why am I here? I'm here because I want to demonstrate an alternative way to live to the society that we're being forced to live in, which is a society that forces us to use money, forces us to have to pay for a place to stay. It forces us to have to work for somebody we don't want to work for. I'm here because I'm inspired by you people that are staying here, and I don't want to work for somebody who already has their needs met. I don't want to work for someone just to make them more money. I want to work for people who don't have their needs met. I want to work for the poor. I want the poor to be my boss, and that's why I'm here. I actually want to be poor myself, in a sense. Like, I mean, I don't want to be without. I want my needs to be met, so I don't want to be poor in that way. I want my needs to get met, but I want to be rich in. I want to be rich in spirit. I want to be rich in relationships and friends. I don't want to be rich in stuff. I want to let my stuff go, and I want to be rich in people and in my life experience. So in a sense, from the money perspective, I want to be poor. And what do I want to happen here? I don't want anybody to get hurt. I want to end the suffering of people. If there's people here that are hungry or they want to have their needs, they need to have their needs met, I want to help serve those needs. But I also would like to see this action, I would like to see it grow and become something kind of like what we had before with Occupy Portland, which was a community of protest and a community to demonstrate an alternative way to live and share with people right here in front of these big halls of power, right in front of the police and the courts and the city hall, and right here on the main street where everybody's driving by every day to go do their job or whatever. You know, I want them to see that there's another way to live and another way to love their fellow human beings. I would like to see Food Not Bombs servings every single day for breakfast and dinner, at least. I would like for it to all be healthy and vegan food. I would like for us to figure out how we can eliminate our garbage and waste or minimize it, so that we're providing food without generating any garbage, and whatever garbage comes in, we're able to haul it out with bikes and trailers and take it and get it recycled. Or maybe exchange the bottles for money to buy more food or something. Yeah, when I see them, I pick them up and I take the labels off and I wash them off with soap and water, hot soap and water. And then I use them as ice bottles to keep my coolers cool when I bring food out.
What's going on here is people exercising their right to socialize and share food together, and the right to have sleep and a peaceful place where people can feel safe. I'm here to show my solidarity with the folks who have been camping here for over 2 years now, and also for the awesome vegan food. I've been here before and came here over the winter and have actually served at the Vigil when it was in front of City Hall, like when it first started, on the steps. But I helped found the Occupy kitchen, which was started
Right over there, that statue.
We stayed up for 3 days making hummus and slicing carrots. What I would like to see come out of this is first for people who pass by this to open their hearts and see what's happening here as a good thing, and that there's a real need for people to love and take care of each other. And I think that that's exactly what folks here are doing, and they're doing it on a very like DIY, more like DIT, do it together instead of do it yourself. It's taking kind of the polar opposite stance of capitalism, which is that you just have to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and do it on your own. And that just doesn't work for people. The American dream leaves so many people behind. And I think folks they're deciding, hey, fuck that, we're not waiting for this like utopian idea. We're not willing to work for 30 years and still not be able to retire. We're gonna do what we want to do now. We're gonna follow our passions, and all we ask is that you treat us like fucking human beings. And so what I would like to see come out of it ultimately is people having more compassion and empathy for others. And also what I would really love is to see more places like Right to Dream, where folks can have a self-governed town of sorts, like a safe, all different types, like whatever folks want to do and self-organize around with help from the other community. Because I mean, all these folks are our neighbors, and it's up to us those of us who have homes and places to go home to. We can help by organizing and by coming down here and taking the time to get to know folks, and believing in people, believing that people are worth it and that people deserve to be happy just like anybody else.
Food Not Bombs, Portland, down on Tuesdays down at City Hall. I'm here to help plug in and give back and take care of the waste stream that we have. It's ridiculous in this country with all the food waste, and try to put it to good use and take care of people out here that need it. And those that don't even need it, it's just, it's for anyone that comes and wants to have it. So, I'd like to see Food Not Bombs down here more often, actually. That would be nice, because I know we have Mondays and Fridays, Colonel Summers down here on Tuesday. But if we could generate more meals, I think that would be a good thing. And then maybe even like getting more free store type things, bringing other items, books, besides just food, which I know people do from time to time. Like I'll bring some stuff in, but I'd like to see more of that going. Provide people needs.
Thank you.
Actually, there was what is that group? It's like the bridge, the Yellow Brick Road people. They bring supplies, medical supplies, that kind of thing. It would also be a good thing to get going to help people out that need certain things. Rent is ridiculous. The rent is too damn high. I'm all on board that party, that platform. And that's the real killer. It's housing. It squeezes everybody out and forces us to plug into the money stream when we should be doing much more worthwhile things that don't have money attached to it is the problem. So that's my personal path right now. I'm trying to figure out how to plug into things that I want to do, but they don't always have monetary reward or value. So.
Well, right here, right now, is a Food Not Bombs feed out at Chapman Square in Portland, Oregon, and we're kind of nearing the end of our barrels, but we cooked up a bunch of food and we're feeding it a whole bunch of people right now.
Awesome.
And it's really cool. It's vegan and gluten-free, and there's no garbage or utensils. I have found myself on this side of the serving line because first 6 months I lived in Portland, I was homeless, and I survived because Food Not Bombs fed me, and then I lived here at this park for the Occupy encampment while I was homeless. It provided a home for me, and it was fed by Food Not Bombs every single day. And now that I have a home and I'm in school and I've kind of gotten my life back together, and it's a really rewarding thing to be able to go out and actually serve the food this time, and it just come full circle in the service of life, I guess. I don't know. I don't know, I guess I feel like it's my, not like a duty or an obligation, but I want to give back to that circle. So now I'm participating in it in this way, and it's good. I want this to turn into a new paradigm, you know? Are we done with the money yet? Are we done with money yet? We don't have to have it. Obviously, we can still be fed and have our needs met. So, I don't know. I think this is a really interesting political platform. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of imagination and creativity that has yet to be expressed, and building relationships through connecting through food, via food, using food as a means to like bring the community back together and stronger, and weave the people into a larger tapestry so that we can have a loud voice and make our needs known and make ourselves respected as a people group. You know, maybe a city full of people. That would be really cool. You got to build community to do that. So here we are.
So this is the Tuesday Food Not Bombs dinner. Started back in May by my friend Marjorie, and I jumped in a few weeks after, and it's kind of been going ever since. It was started mainly to support the people who are carrying on the vigil in front of City Hall to end the camping ban, and to call attention to the inequities that result in homeless people not having any rights, essentially, in our society. I'm here because I guess there's a lot of reasons. I love sharing organic, vegan, healthy food with people. I believe very strongly that the people who need that food the most aren't getting access to it. People who are houseless, mainly, you know, the houseless and the elderly, essentially get the dregs of society, and children as well. I mean, school lunches are not very good in quality either, and generally a lot of the food that's served in the prison system is the same stuff that's served in houses of the elderly and schools. And it's even, you know, sometimes even below prison food in the soup kitchens. So people who live on the streets are generally, you know, having to eat basically the crumbs and dregs of society. And it's not only do I think that is criminal, but I think that it really keeps people down. I think that if people aren't able to do something to build up their health, then they're very liable to, you know, not be able. It's going to be a lot less likely for them to organize and fight against the injustices that are keeping them in the place that they're at, and they're not going to have a lot of spare energy left over to be able to carry on the fights that need to be fought beyond basic survival every day. So I believe very strongly in providing nutrition for people who absolutely need it. And then also building community is why I'm here. These people are, you know, these are my friends, these are my brothers and sisters, and I love being out here. I love connecting with them. I love coming out here and sharing food and sharing stories.
Welcome to Occupy! Woo!
Yeah.
There's some of your friends right now.
Totally. And it's beautiful out here. I mean, this is my community, and these people are fighting the same fight that I'm fighting. So I try to come down here and support them as much as I can. My dream is that I would like to see more and more people coming together out here in these parks. I'd like to see us get such a groundswell out here that they can't kick us out. And I'd like to see more and more people coming down here with a very politicized message, demanding that people who are houseless be given equal rights, basically demanding that those who need housing are able to get it, those who need food, nutritious, healthy food are able to get it. And I would like to see more people down here addressing the inequalities in society and standing up for their rights as citizens of planet Earth. And I think that the more and more people we can get down here seeing what we're doing and helping out and pitching in to help each other, the more that dream can become a reality. You don't need to have a nonprofit organization. You don't need to have very much in the way of supplies to go out and feed and help the people in your community who need help. You don't need a lot of supplies or money to be able to go out and spread a message of peace, and to be able to not only spread that message, but to be able to demonstrate what that means. And I think that the more we see people incorporating that into their lives and demonstrating that in their everyday actions, the greater the change and the quicker the change is going to happen that needs to happen for us to continue to live on this planet. So I think that I guess I would just say to people, if you have a dream, then do it. Instead of sitting around and theorizing about it and talking about it, start acting. Because the more actions that we have like this, the more that we're going to be able to take care of each other, and the greater communities, the more resilient and strong communities we're going to be able to build.
I'm here to film and to make a documentary of the whole thing, to document it, to put it out to the public, and maybe eat a little bit of food. With Food Not Bombs. Well, eventually, I'm going to take all the film that I have from all the different activism, protests, and actions that are going around in Portland this summer to make a full-length documentary, 2-hour documentary, and put it together to put it out to the public, and hopefully do some sort of showing or whatever for folks, and then just put it up online for free.
Sounds cool.
Just trying to get people to recognize this stuff without actually, because a lot of people don't come down here, a lot of people don't even know this is happening. So I think it's important to put it out in a place where it's accessible for everybody, even people like around the world, to see if they choose to. We got to learn to love each other. We have to learn to love each other. We cannot be afraid of each other. Life cannot be the obstacle. It seems that for a lot of people, their goal is to acquire things, land, cars, or whatever it may be, money to acquire things, labor, as opposed to having the goal be to help each other out and to work together in order to make a peaceful coexistence. There's a lot of infighting within the human race, and it's got to stop, because we're killing ourselves, we're killing our planet, we're destroying everything. So I'm hoping that we're on the right track now at this point, but I think there's a long road to hoe on that. But love, we have to love each other. Right?
Sounds good.
I would call it Occupy Portland, or I would just call it a big, happy community taking place in the middle of the city. That's
awesome.
Really, it's like a village. It's cool. I'm here because I want to document people who live in Portland, and I think that includes everyone. So right now I'm just documenting everyone who's here.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Who else are you documenting besides who's here?
Honestly, I've been documenting all kinds of people. I've been documenting a polyamorous family. I've been documenting businessmen. I've been documenting bike jousting at last Thursday. Chefs, people who own food carts. I've been documenting everyone I see that I like. So I think our culture needs awareness. So if there's some sort of an awareness that anyone who passes by can get from this, if anyone would actually take the time to sit down and talk to everyone who's here, I think that would be a valuable experience. More than anything, I think it'd be great if everyone was happy. If everyone here was happy, then that's fine by me. I don't see what the big deal is with all the cops and different people having a problem with it. I think it's nice. Like, use the brick that's just laying here. It has no other purpose than use. I'm cool with that.
Prayer vigil to end the camping ban in Portland and modify however you want to put it. Something's got to give. I'm here because human beings have a right to shelter themselves from the elements except in Portland, city of Portland. So it's okay to be homeless here as long as you don't cover yourself up. And that's just wrong. Because you try to hide in a doorway, they kick you out. You know, doesn't matter where you are, they kick you awake, move you along. It's just wrong. I'd like to see the mayor sit down with the homeless people and figure out what their needs are. They're all different. Some people don't want to be in a box. They don't want to pay. These kids out here, they're like, get a job for $8.90 an hour and work my ass off, and then, you know, go home to my apartment that I can't really sustain because it takes more than one income to sustain a home, apartment, you know, whatever. You need more than one income. No money left over to feed yourself or go to the movies or have a beer, or, you know, why would somebody want to do that? I don't understand. So there's far bigger issues, you know, as far as affordable housing is a solution. Not in the ghetto, but affordable housing, or a wage, you know, that is a living wage. So people could afford the housing that's available now. I think every city should have a rest area, a camp area for travelers. They don't really necessarily settle down. They go from city to city to city. They all know each other. They, you know, socialize and catch up when they do see each other. Why not give them a space to do that? They have rest areas for travelers that are in cars. Why not have rest areas for travelers on foot? I think that there are several different people out here. Not all of us have the same wants or needs. Some people don't want to live inside. Some people want a home desperately. And there are some programs that will pay your first, last, and security deposit to get into a home, but being able to sustain that home is another story. When do you have time to look for a job when you're stuck in, you know, working at Plaid Pantry or Walmart for minimum wage? So you can, I think if they were going to do rent vouchers, maybe 4 to 6 months might be a little more feasible to look for work. I think it'll take a whole month for a homeless person to catch up on sleep, to get their nutrition back, get their the sleep deprivation. You know, it messes with your mind. It's not easy getting to sleep out here and then getting up early so the cops don't kick you awake. You know, I'm an advocate for marijuana. I love marijuana. I believe we should all be able to smoke marijuana. It's a peaceful plant. It helps me sleep at night, especially out here. Not only does it help me get to sleep, but it helps me stay asleep. And when I don't have that, you know, the other option is alcohol. And so I drank some alcohol to get to sleep. I drank it too fast. I blacked out. I woke up with a broken leg. Homeland Security didn't like my behavior, which was I was asking people for marijuana. and then he attacked me, pushed me.
Homeland Security attacked you?
Yeah.
And that was because you were asking for marijuana?
Oh yeah. This officer, now we know he's aggressive. He's not out to protect and serve the people. He's out to destroy the homeless. He's tased somebody after they were already on their knees with their hands in the air for several seconds. He went ahead and tased him anyway. Most of the incidents I've seen him involved in were because somebody spoke back to him, asked him a question. They actually detained a young woman because she asked the police when they came to take somebody's bicycle, who gave them the authority to do that? Where was the paperwork saying they could do that? And they chased her around the park and detained her while they took that bike. Yeah, they don't like to be talked back to. They don't like it that we know our rights. They don't like it. I'm saying they, and I'm thinking about this one in particular officer, Romas, R-O-M-M-E-S, Douglas P, as in Paul.
Douglas P. Romas.
Yeah.
And he
that's
works for DHS?
Yes, Department of Homeland Security.
And he took somebody's bike?
Actually, he was just there backing up the woman officer.
He was backing up another officer, and then he arrested a girl for...
detained her. He didn't arrest her.
He didn't arrest her,
Well,
just detained her.
I guess arresting is stopping someone, right? And when you handcuff somebody, that is...
So this person was
they didn't
arrested.
Book her.
Right.
Yeah, they didn't book her. They just cuffed her and put her in the back of the car until they were finished removing the bicycle.
How do you think this environment is for women?
It's very unsafe. I mean, right here, I'm totally 100% safe. You know, we're right here in the business district. A lot of the shady people don't swing by here. I mean, they come out of jail and they see us, curious, and move on. You know, it's a peaceful, loving environment right here. But as far as homeless women on the streets, it's very dangerous. I see women tend to hook up with anybody that's there just for protection, just to buddy up with someone. And then, of course, you know, I don't know.
You think if a woman is alone on the streets, that this is a place she can come?
Absolutely, 100%. And she will not need to bring somebody. There's a loving family here that all looks out after each other. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Under the bridges, you know, where the police chase you off and shoo you off, very dangerous places. Not somewhere I would want to be alone. Absolutely not.
You would rather sleep here under a tarp than sleep under the bridges?
Absolutely. It's dangerous. Women are raped down there all day long, all the time. It's common.
This is the Vigil and the camping van, and this is Occupy Portland. Meaning the federal park, everything like that. That's Occupy Portland. There's also a lot of rainbow gathering people here too. Ideally, I want the camping van to be lifted. You know, Hale seems to be up against the ropes at this point, which is nice. But as far as Occupy goes, I mean, it all depends on, you know, how badly people want to change the system. We're the cause of most of the problems in the world. America. Or more to the point, the people in charge, the 1% are the ones causing the problem. But unfortunately, the people in charge have dumbed down the population enough that, you know, everybody's hooked on Kim Kardashian and McDonald's food, so actually getting up and fixing problems is beyond most people's, you know, willpower at this point, unfortunately. So, I mean, you know, realistically, it'll probably take an entire economic collapse before anybody goes, hey, wait a minute, the place is shot, let's do something about it.
This is family. This is actually within the Rainbow organization, people who would come down from the Rainbow Gathering. There's actually little consults like this in every city, realistically. They're all over America. It's all people who have come down from Rainbow, generally people who have either loved this city or people who lived in the city. And what it's going on is basically it's all people who had understood the rights of the city and everything else. They come down here, they utilize this park within the rights of the law, of course. You know, at night we go sleep on the streets as ordered. You know, at 10 o'clock this park shuts down, but at 7 a.m. you know, it opens back up. This is one gigantic family, happy.
You know, this actually wasn't supposed to be.
Well, I mean, basically what it is, you know, of course it's a homeless population, but everybody loves each other. It's not your average homeless population that does a bunch of drugs and injects themselves and drinks a bunch of alcohol and gets in fights and causes issues. That's not what it is here. Although it does happen, it's pretty rare. Realistically, I love Portland. Portland's always been a great city. Always. I mean, I've been here 6 times on my travels, and I always love coming back to it just because, you know, you cannot starve here. The people can be pretty nice. There's never really any issues. Although drugs are huge, but gang violence is small. It's a whole lot of variables that really go into the fact, but I love Portland. Portland's definitely in the top 5 best cities I've ever been in my life, and I've been to a lot of cities. But I gotta say, if you're an average pedestrian, you do not need to be feared to come through here. Realistically, there will be no harm done to family, people, anybody, and we will make sure, personally us as a family, that that small 1% will not cause harm, even if it's here. Generally it's not. But I mean, if your average pedestrians are getting to hear this and see this, you have to understand that we are of happiness and peacefulness, and we will not cause any harm. You do not have to be feared, or well, we do not have to be feared, and you do not have to fear walking through the park, walking down the sidewalk with your children, maybe your dog, or just by yourself, going to work. You do not have to fear anything. We will not cause of any issues. I mean, given maybe some kids maybe say hi sarcastically, but that's as far as it's going to go. There's really never going to be any issues, and honestly, that's really all I have to say. So,
with the Rainbow family, what we're doing is we're finding access to all resources. We're coming together and making a way station here because there's so many different rainbow gatherings that are happening and closing down and starting up all at the same time, all in this area. This is just one aspect of the flowering of consciousness. What the Maya have predicted has come. The 100th monkey in our consciousness has come. This is the visible demonstration of us getting together in the cities now instead of just in the woods. So everywhere we are, we're getting together in our 2s and our 10s and our 100s, and we're being provided for. The federal government here, the municipal government, the state government, they don't have any conflict with us. They want to help us. They've been bending over backwards to help us stay here because we're peace-loving, because we're standing in love, and there's no law that can stand against love. They find their hearts melted, and they want to join us. But it's hard for them. It's much harder for them than for us. We've already been prepared for this. We've been loved on. So we need to show that love, and that's what this is. The visible demonstration of unity is love. Whatever I want to happen is small compared to what is happening. We're coming together. Those who have been prepared, those who are of like-minded, of all traditions, all cultures, all ideologies, all strata of society, rich and poor, young and old, come together when love is shown. There's no walls that can stand. There's no division among us. There's no rich or poor among us. We're one family. There's no needy among us. If there's hungry, they get fed. It doesn't matter who you are. If you come to a home circle at a gathering or at a way station of the Rainbow family, you're welcome. If you come in peace and you come in love, you're always welcome. Everybody's welcome. It's God's table. Everybody eats.
Alright, so what was it? Yesterday? It was yesterday? No. Yeah, it was yesterday. It was yesterday around 7 o'clock. We were sitting over there on, what was it? 3rd and Madison, I think it was, right? It was the 3rd over there next to the park, and we were woken around 6:30 by sleeping there, and then they came over at 7 o'clock, and they were their intent was to write us tickets for improper use of sidewalk, which is, you know, it's ridiculous. But anyways, we were sitting there and we were packing our stuff up like we were told to do, and then when we packed our stuff up and I was done packing, he forced me down and said that I was being arrested, and he told me that he was going to mace me, which he did, and then they forced me into the police car, and then I was taken into the Justice Center over there. And then he told me specifically that he told me that I was being arrested before he grabbed me and forced me into handcuffs and maced me. And then when we walked in there, he told, you know, and I told him that no, everyone else agreed with me that he said I was being arrested after he put me in handcuffs, and that's when everyone else broke out and got arrested and maced too, the other 3 that were involved in it.
One of which is standing right beside you.
Yes, which is Chris, my good friend.
See, when I saw the 3 officers on my buddy Andrew over here, I walked around to see what they were doing to him because they made a barricade so we could not view what they were doing. So I started yelling, that's abuse of your power. You guys are fucked up, you guys are abusing your power. So I walked around the other side and there was only one officer there. And he grabbed me by the shirt like this and said, step back. I can't step back when you're holding me, sir. So he let go. I took a half a step back, he grabbed me again, told me to step back. I told him I'm not doing anything wrong, I'm just watching. So he maced me. He pulled out his mace and he maced me in the face. For no reason, for watching. I wasn't doing anything wrong. This man was not doing anything wrong. And for them to abuse their power is unjustified. We need help. We need some serious help with our justice system. And we're calling out to anybody who's watching. This is not right anymore. Something's got to change. Thank you.